Welcome back to another episode of Life with Hood Yoda. Today's episode, another continuation of stories. Story time! Let's do this shit. So, there's a disclaimer in this video, in this story. Number one, this happened when I was younger. Number two, this story could actually hurt me and make me go do jail time. So, I'm not going to tell you what year or what town this happened in. Take that shit. Only 4 people in existence know this story, and one is dead. So, on that note, once again, disclaimer. My thought process was probably retarded as can be. Don't judge me. So we had this police officer when I was growing up, and he was just horrible to us. He would harass the hell out of us. He would pull us over. He would search us. If he saw us out anywhere, he would harass us. Hell, he even planted drugs on one of my buddies during a traffic stop just so he could get a chance to send him to jail. Another traffic stop I was involved in, he took the drugs that one of us had. Didn't say nothing, just made us get out, searched us, grabbed it, and left. He was a dirty cop. So, of course, we all hated him. And one day, I saw an opportunity to get even. So, I did. So, growing up, there was no Valentine. There was nothing to hang out anywhere. So, you either had to go to Charlotte or Rock Hill. So, in a small town, we hung out at gas stations. And we had a notorious gas station that we always met up at. Behind that gas station, there was a field. And about probably 300 yards after that, there was this pond in the wood, back in the woods. And you could get to it in a car. This is also a place where a lot of people went to make out and do their business when they were younger. So, one night, I'm at this gas station alone. Just listening to music, smoking a cigarette, waiting on someone to come by. This night, the cop did not mess with me. He pulled up, went inside, and just hung out. I went in to go buy a Mountain Dew and something to snack on. I noticed he was sitting in the corner, drinking coffee and smoking a cigarette. So I walk out of the gas station, and I notice there is a side window, but his cruiser, he left outside, and it was running with the keys in it, was out of his line of sight. I went back to my car. And for some reason, this light bulb went off in my head. This stupid idiot light bulb. I was so driven to get payback on this cop. So, I jumped in my car, and I went to that field. And this is at nighttime, by the way, and the car I was driving was a very, very dark blue, almost black. So, I drove into the field, deeper in it where you could barely see it from the road, but you could still see the gas station. Got out, took my keys, walked over the field to the gas station, peeked around the corner. He was still sitting there. He gets up, he's pouring another cup of coffee. So I was like, he's not coming out. I got the bright idea. I'm going to take his car. Now, precursor to this is back when they didn't have GPSs or cameras inside of police officers' cars. So I was like, I'm going to get even. So I got in the car, drove away from the gas station, drove past the field, turned down the road that takes you to this pond. Drove down there, parked the cruiser, took the keys, and I walked back to my car. Noticing that I went back to my car, was going to get in and just sit there. I was like, I'm going to fuck with him even more. So I walked over to the gas station again, looked inside, same place, didn't move. So I took his keys that I had in my pocket, and I put them on the ground where his car was. Then went back to my car. and waited. Now, my conscience was getting to me because I was like, this dude finds out it's me, I'm going to jail for a very long time. So, after the thought of that, I just sat there and was like, there's no way in hell he can catch me. There's no cameras in the gas station that I went to. There's no cameras in the car. Nothing. So, I waited for another 45 minutes, and he has still yet to come out. Another precursor. Most of us in this small town had CB radios and police scanners. By this time, I already had a cell phone, and I was tired of waiting. So, I decided to call one of my good friends who lived up the road. I told him where to come to and where to park. He also drove a darker car. He gets in my car. He's like, what do you want to talk about? And I said, well, I got something to tell you. And I told him what I did. He started freaking out. It's like, dude, you better go get it. I was like, well, dude, even if I change my mind and go get it and bring it back, there's no guarantee he's not going to see me pull back in. And he might come out before then, and I'm screwed driving around in a police cruiser. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to see this through. I got him on board. But this cop still has not come out. Now about an hour. So I told him I'm going to go back in the gas station, grab another drink. He decides to come with me. We go in, we buy our stuff. The cop's still sitting in the same place. So we go out, go back to my car. We're sitting there, and he's like, man, this is going to be great, but he hasn't moved, and he's been there for how long? And I told him. I said, we got to get a way to get this cop out of the gas station. One way or another, we got to get him out. So, my brilliant idea, what's the best way to get a cop to move? You report a crime. Another precursor was, this is a small town, and only about 2 to 4 officers are always on duty. 2 stayed on one side of the town, 2 stayed on the other side of town. So me and my buddy, we drive away. We go up to the next gas station that has a payphone. Yeah, a payphone. And I report someone trying to break into a house and give them an address. And this place is about 3 miles away from the convenience store. So I drove back after making the phone call and sat in the field waiting. So we're listening to the police scanner. Finally, the call goes out about 5 minutes after I made the phone call, and we're already back. And he, over the radio, you can tell by his voice, takes the call. He walks out of the convenience store. And his face and his body language was like, what the fuck is going on? He didn't see the keys. This mug walked around the convenience store 3 times around the entire building. Finally, he gets back to where his car was and sees the keys. Picks them up. And you can tell he's freaking out. You would think that he would make a phone call or go over the radio and tell people what happened so they can come pick him up. He did not do this. Instead, he starts walking in the direction of where the call came from, which is about 3 miles away. And I'm laughing. After about 20 minutes, we hear over the scanner that he canceled the call, and then we see him walk up into the gas station again. So, by this time, we're like, he's never going to find it or figure it out. Which is what my plan was, but honestly, I wanted him to actually find it. So, told my buddy, so I could sit there to go back to another payphone somewhere else and put in another 911 call about a suspicious vehicle at a certain location. So he did. Next thing you see is a cruiser come by and turn down the road where we left the other car. So me and my buddy, I was like, I gotta see this. So we walked through the woods, through the field to the woods, to enough where we could see what's going on. Now this time I'm laughing so hard because this cop's looking at another police cruiser and his blue light's on in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, where's this other cop? So, yeah, a little different, a little weird. Next thing I see the other police officer walking towards the area that he was at. And I was like, oh shit, he must have called that cop after the cop saw the number on the car, and now they're going down there. So, he did, and they found the car. So, not too funny of a story, but a little crazy story, but yeah, it's good to get payback. But it's also good to know that no one ever found out. And I was like, you know what? It's time I tell this story. So, two police officers knew the story and my friend. So far, we've never heard about it, but it is always one of those tales that we tell everybody. The night we stole a cop car and never got caught. But I guarantee you this, that cop never left his car running ever again with the keys in. So, not too funny of a story, more of a crazy story, but that was today's episode. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to keep doing these. You keep doing what you be doing, I do what I be doing. And as always, be good people.